To UK-India trade relations in light of the FTA. UK officials met with India's insurance regulator, the IRDAI, in a bid to make the sector more investor-friendly. Chris Hayward of City of London Corporation believes insurance offers great investment opportunities under the ambit of financials. He further states that in order to make the most of India-UK FTA, India will need to focus on developing a robust pipeline of investable projects.
It's an incredibly exciting time to be in India, as far as I'm concerned, on behalf of the City of London and the United Kingdom. The FTA marks a real new chapter, I think a golden era, potentially, for trade and business between India and the United Kingdom. But of course, ultimately, the FTA is an umbrella. It's an umbrella, and it's what's beneath the umbrella that matters. So it's actually doing deals. It's actually about stimulating trade. It's actually about ensuring that we have investable projects in India in which investors can want to invest. And one of the things I've been doing here this week in India is working with the Indian government on what we call the City of London, or UK, I should say, India of Infrastructure Financing Bridge, which is all about supporting Prime Minister Modi's sustainable infrastructure and transport programme, both by expertise, but more particularly, of course, by bringing in investment and private investment into these massive programmes, which Prime Minister Modi is very necessarily implementing. So I think it's a great moment to be here. We have a very strong relationship with India, both historically and in trade terms as well. And I have come to the end of this week with a real sense of optimism and positivity about the opportunity that exists for our two countries.
Right. Could you list out certain areas of opportunities where you are immediately seeking cooperation and attention of the Indian government?
Well, I've been exploring a number of areas of the sector, financial and professional services sector, which I speak for this week. And if I just give you a couple of examples, because there are many, but for example, insurance is a great opportunity to penetrate the Indian market. Prime Minister Modi has pledged, insurance for all by 2040, and there are British insurers here now, and we want to see more international insurers come and participate. So I met with those insurers while I've been here. I also met with your insurance regulator in Hyderabad as well, because we want to make it as easy for them to succeed as possible. And another area which I've been hugely discussing in Hyderabad was the whole issue of the fintech startups and scale-ups. So you have already a very impressive record, both in Hyderabad and Bangalore, of fintech growth. We have huge fintech growth in the City of London. We are always in the top 3 with the US and the UAE, but at the same time, we can't be complacent. And what we've got to ensure is that there is adequate capital to actually inject into these startups to make sure they scale up. And we all want them to scale up in our own countries and, of course, to list on our own stock exchanges and not to go across to the NASDAQ. So I think there's a couple of opportunities there alone. I've already touched on the huge area of infrastructure and transportation funding and investment and expertise. So there are many, many opportunities that under the banner of the FTA that we've recently signed, I think we can exploit.
Right. Would you have any kind of investment pipeline that you have in mind or proposal with reference to the quantum of investments that could come in?
Well, look, I can't possibly tell you the actual sums of investment that could come, but what I can say to you is that in order for investment to come into India, there has to be investor appetite from India. And by that, what I'm really saying is, investable projects have to be produced, showing returns and showing de-risking before UK investors, I think, will come. Do I think they will come? Yes, I do. Am I convinced that those projects will come forward? Yes, I am. But what I can't do is quantify, because, of course, every investor, be they a pension fund or any other UK investor, are going to have different risk appetites. And therefore, what we've got to try to do is to match the projects with the right and appropriate funders.
That's all we have today on Global Lens. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.